Today we're talking about 5 games that you absolutely need to play at least once. These aren't ranked from best to worst. This is just a collection of unforgettable gaming experiences that left a huge impact in different ways. Some are emotional, some are pure adventure, and some just let you live out a fantasy you didn't even know you had. So whether you're new to gaming or just looking for something incredible to dive into, these are games you should not miss.
I can't leave you alone for a minute, can I?
I had everything under control until they blew up the boat.
If you've ever wanted to feel like you're playing through an action movie, this is where you start. You follow Nathan Drake, a treasure hunter who somehow always ends up in the worst possible situations. Falling trains, collapsing temples, and entire armies chasing him for ancient artifacts. The first game introduced the world and the characters, giving us Nathan, Sully, and Elena, already full of personality and charm. Uncharted 2 then took everything to the next level with massive set pieces, jaw-dropping moments, and sequences you'll never forget. After that, Uncharted 3 refined everything even further with bigger environments and more cinematic storytelling. Now, I won't lie, these games can be frustrating at times. There are moments where you slip off a ledge for the 4th time in a row, or get taken out by a single enemy after surviving an entire army. But somehow, that frustration just makes finally getting through those sections feel even more satisfying, and it's part of the fun. Next up, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This is the game where Assassin's Creed stopped being just about assassins and suddenly became one of the best pirate simulators ever made. It was actually my first Assassin's Creed game, and to this day it's still my favorite in the entire series. You play as Edward Kenway, a privateer. That's basically a pirate, but with papers. Now Edward wants to make enough money to go back home to his girl and start a proper life with her. But while chasing that dream of wealth and freedom, he ends up getting mixed up in the long-running Assassin-Templar conflict, mainly because he keeps chasing opportunities that promise more money. The game balances its pirate fantasy with a surprisingly emotional story. One moment you're sailing across the Caribbean, attacking ships, diving for treasure, and upgrading your own pirate fleet. And the next, you're watching Edward deal with the consequences of his choices and the people he's lost along the way. The naval combat is still some of the most fun you can have in an open-world game. There's something incredibly satisfying about spotting a ship on the horizon, raising your sails, and starting a full-on sea battle, while your crew sings in the background. It's a rare game where both the gameplay and the story are equally strong, and because it was my first entry into the series, it set the bar incredibly high for everything that came after. Now we switch things up completely with Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human isn't just about choices, it's a full-on cinematic adventure that blends tense action sequences with story-changing decisions. You're thrown into a near-future world where androids are becoming self-aware, and you play as 3 different characters whose paths gradually intertwine with each action and decision, shaping how their stories unfold. Every choice you make, what you say, who you trust, even whether you hesitate for a second, can completely change what happens next. Characters can die early, entire storylines can disappear, and endings can be wildly different depending on your decisions. What makes Detroit stand out is how seriously it treats your choices. It doesn't just give you the illusion of control, it actually lets you reshape the entire narrative. It feels more like directing your own interactive movie than playing a traditional game, and that's what makes it so memorable.
pretty sure the cops aren't going to see it that way.
Well, then let's not get caught. You ready for this?
Hell yeah.
Next, we've got again Uncharted on the list, but this time it's the final chapter, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. This is where the series reaches its emotional peak. Nathan Drake is older now and has left his treasure hunting life behind, trying to settle into a normal, quiet life. But that peace doesn't last very long. Something from his past resurfaces, and it forces him to question whether he can really walk away from the life he used to live. Without giving too much away, Nathan is pulled back into adventure for deeply personal reasons. And it's not just about treasure this time. It's about family, loyalty, and unfinished business. That alone makes you want to see how everything plays out. Everything about this game is a step up. The graphics, the scale, the level design, and especially the storytelling. The introduction of his brother Sam adds a whole new layer to Nathan's character and gives the story a more personal and grounded feeling than ever before. The gameplay is smoother than ever, with bigger areas to explore and more freedom in how you approach combat. But what really sticks with you is how the game reflects on Nathan's life and the cost of constantly chasing adventure. It's not just a great sequel, it's one of the best send-offs to a character in gaming, and by the time the credits roll, it genuinely feels like you've reached the end of a long journey.
I shot the hell out of that guy, huh?
And finally, The Last of Us Part 1. Out of all the games on this list, and honestly, out of all the games I've ever played, this one is my absolute favorite. And that says a lot considering how many incredible games exist today. The Last of Us Part 1 isn't just memorable because of its gameplay or graphics, it's the way it makes you feel while playing it. From the very beginning, the game pulls you into a world that feels harsh, broken, and painfully real. You follow Joel, a hardened smuggler who's just trying to survive, and Ellie, a teenage girl who ends up becoming far more important than either of them expected. What starts as a simple job slowly turns into a journey that changes both of them in ways you don't fully realize until much later. The gameplay is tense and grounded. Ammo is scarce, enemies are dangerous, and every fight feels like it could go wrong at any moment. You're not playing as a superhero, you're playing as people trying to stay alive, and that makes every encounter feel meaningful. But what truly makes this game stand above the rest is the relationship between Joel and Ellie. Watching their bond grow over time, from complete strangers to something much deeper, is what makes the story hit so hard emotionally. By the time you finish the game, it doesn't just feel like you've completed another story. It feels like you've been through something with these characters. And that's why, even with so many amazing games out there, this one still stands as my number one. So those were 5 games that I genuinely believe everyone should play at least once. These aren't just games I enjoyed for a few hours and then forgot about. These are games I've come back to again and again. I've replayed every single one of them multiple times, and each time they still manage to feel just as exciting, emotional, or fun as the first playthrough. These are the kinds of games that don't just entertain you once, they stay with you, and they're worth experiencing more than a single time. So if you haven't played them yet, you're seriously missing out, and if you have, then you probably understand exactly why I keep going back to them over and over again. Thank you for watching, see you in the next one.